In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a PowerPoint and turn it into a video that you then export to YouTube, and from there you can embed on a Moodle page. Okay, so this is the PowerPoint. Things are going to get a bit meta because I'm making a video about a PowerPoint and using this PowerPoint to illustrate the point. But hopefully you won't get too confused. So first slide, I'm saying something over it, and then I'm going to click forward. So this is a finished example of the beast, but it's also walking through how you do it. So I'm assuming, firstly, you've actually got the PowerPoint and you want to add narration to it. You can additionally have a little box with yourself presenting in the corner of the video or somewhere else on the screen. I've chosen not to. If you know what it looks like, you'll understand why. Secondly, you need a microphone at the very least to record your text. Most typically you'll probably have a webcam, so that's the means by which you can also capture a video image of yourself talking. And thirdly, it assumes that you've created a YouTube account on which to host the video. There are other ways of getting the completed video onto Moodle. I tend to prefer YouTube because then I've got it accessible from wherever I am. I can change the permissions on that, and also it enables closed captions in a variety of languages. Okay, the advantages of doing this. It means that, because you're not able to stand in front of a class and interact with the PowerPoint, then at a remove and at a different time, students can still nevertheless see your slides and listen to the commentary that you provide to those slides, which is better than a succession of PowerPoint slides, maybe with some notes underneath. You can include video clips within this. There are other ways of exporting PowerPoint, or indeed just supplying a PowerPoint, but although there are workarounds, it's quite clunky in order to actually have video working as part of the PowerPoint. And if you make it as a PDF, then clearly it's static pages with no sense of the timings and the narration that you will get in this variation. And because I'm using YouTube, I can distribute it widely by the various means that YouTube enables me to share that with the world, whether by embedding it in another web page, giving people a YouTube link. So they're the upsides. Downsides are particularly in the instance where you want to include videos. You've got to bear in mind that you are not only playing back a video, but you're also recording a video in order to then make a further video that you put onto YouTube. So your PC or Mac's got to have sufficient horsepower in order to be able to do that. The file size itself, if you were to distribute it rather than have people stream it from a YouTube link, is obviously going to be larger than a PowerPoint because it is a video of a fixed duration. And if you are the kind of person who maybe perhaps makes errors or is a perfectionist and rather like me just bluster on through with my narration, you choose to say that no, that really doesn't work, I'm going to stop and do that again. There are ways in which you can kind of pause this or just do the narration per slide, so can get around it that way, but obviously the video is going to take as long to record, even if you do it flawlessly, as the video. So if you do 30-minute commentary, then quelle surprise, it's going to take you 30 minutes to record it, even before you then export it and then upload it. In this slide, I'm going to demonstrate video playback, and this particular example, I'm going to be playing back 2 videos to demonstrate the different frame per second rates. Although they share the same playback rate, they are captured at very different rates. So I click on a video and that should start the thing off. There you go, that one's going. And then click on this one and start that off. So on the left you have Joe Jones, Fluxus artist, with his video Smoking. Fluxus managed to blag a 1,000 frame per second video camera and then did various kind of experimental films with them. You can see here that the halo of smoke is slowed right down, and by the end of the film, this is just a clip. By the end of the film, it envelops the central character. And on the right, we have I think this is a royalty-free clip that is very popular on YouTube, shot probably at something like 1 frame per second to show cloud formation. So I'm just going to stop that one, and then I should be able to advance to the next frame. Okay, so this is an example of full screen playback. Now, what I prefer to do, I could have this so that it launches rather than on the click, it launches when I go to this slide. The trouble with that is that unless I've teed it up beforehand, say get ready for this dynamic video I'm going to show you, the kind of context of that, title, what it is, what it's supposed to be doing, is lost to the viewer. So this way I can wrap it on inconsequentially before actually playing the video. So now you're expectant, and here we go. So this should now play back full screen. And I'm still able to talk over the top of this. So I haven't done anything in terms of the volume of these audio, something I'll mention video controls shortly, but I'm hopeful that I am enunciating sufficiently loudly so that you can hear me. It's quiet at the moment, it'll kick off again. I'm hoping that actually, yes, I've trimmed this one, so it actually stops at this point, so that's handy, isn't it? So that's full screen playback, and I've trimmed the clip, and I'll show you the video tools coming up, I think, in the next slide. Here we go. So the trim function, this is just a screen grab, so there's no point me just clicking on that, enabled me on that previous video to stop at a particular moment in the video. I can, these are kind of very basic video editing tools. I can fade in from black, fade out afterwards. Here I've got my volume control, so I could do a test recording, and if it really didn't work, I could go back and record from this slide onwards and just tweak the volume down or up depending on how that worked. As you can see here, there's various options. If I were to click this, it can click when you go to the slide as part of the click sequence. So if you've got various things that are triggered, transitions, and heaven knows what, you can do that here like this. You could loop it if you wanted. Rewinds, I'm not quite sure the intent of that. Hide while not playing, I never touch that either. Don't bother with captions, but you've got some degree of control here. So that shows you how you embed videos and how that works. How do you actually capture this slideshow? So along the top of PowerPoint, and this may vary slightly depending on the version of PowerPoint you're using, but on this particular version here, I have this button marked slideshow, and there's a drop down for this, and the options are record from the current slide. This would be the point where it was absolutely fine until I really mucked up on slide 45, so let's just do the commentary from there on in, or to do the whole thing from the beginning. And additionally, now because this is the first time I've done this, there's an option to clear. So say you did it one time through and it wasn't so great, then you can wipe it and then start again. When you've recorded a commentary, you will see a little kind of grey speaker icon in the bottom right of each slide. If you save as a PowerPoint and send that to someone, the commentary won't be there. It needs to be saved as a video. So this is how you do it. So let's assume I've chosen record from beginning. I'll then be confronted in this version of PowerPoint with the following. This is the recording interface. Okay, I don't bother with all this malarkey drawing on the screen here. If that's your bag, then knock yourself out. Do what you like. I simply capture the stuff on the slide. I've got very basic controls here. The expected big red button, which means you start recording. And when you've had enough of that, or come to the end of the slideshow, you can press stop, and then once you've actually captured something, you can replay it to check whether it was as you intended. And as you go through the slide deck, you can keep the mouse off the screen. This is here you've got these little buttons here that you can click to advance the slide. I should also mention here, down here, you have the option by toggling these. You can, if you've got a webcam connected, you can have by default in this bottom right hand area here a small window with your what's captured on your webcam appearing there. That's a matter of preference for you, but you can have that added to it as well. So you click record, capture your video. When that's done, go up to the file menu, and the file menu generates something similar to this. I'm going to be doing a variation of this video where you published Microsoft Stream, and I'm going to drop that into Moodle. But for this video, what we're going to do is to create a video standalone, and then we're going to bump that up to YouTube. Okay, I leave it at full HD. If you go smaller than that, then yes, smaller file size, but typically 1080p is the resolution you might be using for a lecture, and you're probably used to using font sizes that are legible at that resolution. Going much smaller means you're losing a lot of detail. Going much larger, I haven't used the drop down even, but I imagine this is a recent version of PowerPoint, then you might be able to go up higher to 4K, massive file sizes. How many people have actually got a 4K monitor? So unless it's a specialized use case, like maybe architectural visualization, where you need that amount of detail, or 3D design, then I would leave it at that. So you've got the option here to, now again, grayed out, because this is assuming that I haven't done any recordings or timings when I did the screen grab for this. So if you don't use that, it sets it at the default time for each slide, maybe like 5 seconds or something like that. But we have, so in order to capture this, I would use recorded timings and narrations. Then, having done that, it says, where on earth are you going to put this file? I, by default, always end up throwing everything on the desktop, so it's the whole desktop is awash with icons and files. It's a complete mess, but it's my desktop and I like it. So I'm going to drop it there and give it a meaningful name, hopefully a unique name so it doesn't overwrite anything else. It's saved as an MPEG 4 video, which is pretty good for compression without losing too much detail. When I click save, then it does its business. How long it takes to do that will be dependent on the length and complexity of the PowerPoint that you are recording. So onto YouTube. I am assuming that you've set up a YouTube account. It's free to do so. It was last time I checked, for the handing over of all your private personal details. That is a decision for you to make. Nevertheless, if you've gone ahead and made a Faustian pact with the owners of YouTube, then you're able to upload it there. So in the interface, you're logged in, there's my little icon there. Click the create button and choose upload videos. This is go live. This is if you want to set up live streaming. That's for another time. So upload videos, and then, right, you click through a load of screens here. So I've banged them all together on one slide. You'll have to like peer in closely, but they'll be largely white screens with some black text, and let's go through. Basically, in order to get through these as quickly and painlessly as possible, it does ask you to determine whether this is made for kids or no, it's not made for kids. That's not necessarily my target audience. I always click no, it's not made for kids. I don't want any comebacks later because I've inadvertently violated YouTube's notion of what constitutes a kid and what's fit and proper for them. So I just click that one there. Click next, goes on to this screen. This is all about adding end screens, and I don't think it actually becomes available until you've actually got some portion of your video up there. I never bother with all that kind of excess furniture. And then the next one here determines the visibility of your video. And the options are private. I'm just reading on the screen here. Only you and people you choose can watch your video. So you have to identify by email or maybe username who it is who can actually see this. So, I mean, the typical use case might be that your new film that you're launching, you want to do a test screening for those people you've been collaborating with, but you don't want the wider world to see it, so you make it private and just share it amongst that very select group. Unlisted means that it doesn't show up in the search results, so you actually need to have that rather convoluted URL that YouTube uniquely generates for everything uploaded onto its site. Or public means it's up there so they can type in, you know, the words that are in your title or maybe your username, and it'll appear in your channel. It's just there for the world to see. So when you click save there, it launches this. How long it takes to upload this will depend on the speed of your connection, the complexity of the video, and many other factors. But you know, it's not an instantaneous process unless you've got a very brief black and white video. So expect for this to take some time. So in the instance of you've got a deadline for submission, don't leave this till like 5 minutes beforehand, because you are going to get frustrated and disappointed. Okay, having done that, or even while it's doing it, you can improve the kind of presentation of the thing. So I've clicked save, it's uploading the background. You need to keep the page open, so the main browser page that's uploading it, for the duration of the upload. It did say that on the previous slide. But once you've done that, you go back into your interface, YouTube Studio, and if I've actually hovered over the video that's currently uploading. You say visibility, that actually says pending. It's just truncated because I've tried to make it a smaller screen grab. And you can click this icon here, pencil, which is YouTube's icon for edit. And here you can see some of the things that I clicked through earlier. I've got a chance to revise and augment here. So a title here, that's fairly generic. I think I end up calling it PowerPoint to Video YouTube because I'm going to do one on Microsoft Stream. Description, this is the bit where all those YouTube influencers say click down in the link for my free stuff or stuff you need to buy. That's where it means when it's down below. All that guff appears there. I think you've got about 5,000 characters. So if there's like things you reference, you can have them down here like that. Thumbnails, if you click here on this upload thumbnail, it will call up a Finder window, so you can make an alternative. So if you've got a corporate look, you could have that and then put the specific title on that, and then that kind of works well in the context of a playlist because they all seem to be part of a larger whole. Or you can, I don't know the logic behind this, but it selects what it thinks is a representative or kind of interesting image from the video. So as you can see at the moment, it's selected that middle one, but I could go for that opening one there, which is probably more pertinent. But sort of the kids thing, no, it's still not suitable for kids. Change the visibility here, add it to a playlist, end screen, which I mentioned in passing. You're now able to edit that, do that should you choose. But the key thing I want to call attention to here, because we're going to add it to Moodle, is this little button here. And when you click it, it copies that video link, so you've got that in your clipboard ready to paste into Moodle as the link for the video. So we've copied the URL, and you go across to Moodle, go turn editing on, so you come up with the interface, go into the content section. I'm assuming you're dropping it on a Moodle page, so you come up with a content section, which is this area here, lots of icons to insert various different types of content. The one you want is this icon here, which if you squint you can see it's a representation of a video camera, allegedly. And if you hover over it, just to confirm, it says insert or edit an audio/video file. Click that, this window comes up, insert media, and you paste your URL in here. If you've already got a video, for those who are like uploading something or already got it onto Moodle, you can use the browse repositories to dump a URL in that spot there. click Insert Media, and you come back with this. Doesn't look too inspiring at this point, but if you save and display, the ensuing result is this. So it's a fairly small video, but it's apparent that it is a video because it has the play button here, top left. Click that, and then it appears, plays back. You've got elementary controls here, like can pause and continue playing the video, can change the volume as required, scrub through it if need be. But you also have the ability, if you're fairly dexterous with a mouse, to click here, the YouTube thing. It opens up a new window, and then you're able to view it at a larger size, but also to avail yourself of the closed caption functionality, which auto generates captions in a number of languages. So that is going from PowerPoint through to YouTube. I'm now going to just append a section where it covers adding video to Microsoft Stream. So let's assume that we've done our narration and we go File and to the Export menu, and instead of choosing this one, which we use to create a video for YouTube, we're going to publish to Microsoft Stream. Now you'll notice here it's by default taking the title of the template. That was Earthly Inspiration, believe it or not. You might want to change it to something more meaningful, so in this instance it will probably be PowerPoint to YouTube and Microsoft Stream. Then you have some options here. You can upload PowerPoint along with this, allow everyone to see this video. I have to confess, I'm not sure what happens if I check or uncheck this, and I think you can also manipulate this once it's on stream. But click the Publish button here, and then one assumes you've got a Microsoft Stream account as part of the Office 365 suite. What it does, it saves the video, but then uploads it to Stream. So it will take some time. There is a progress bar down the bottom here, and it will like move along here at a glacial rate until it says uploaded to Microsoft Stream succeeded. And if you hover over this, you get this little pop-up here. Your video is successfully uploaded to Microsoft Stream. Click here to view your video. So obviously you're going to click there, and it takes you to your Stream account. Here is your video. You can play it back, check it works okay. If it doesn't, go back to PowerPoint, tweak, rinse and repeat, as they say. So for the purposes of getting it into Moodle, what I tend to do is to use this icon here. It's a little right angle with an arrow appearing out of it. The rationale for that, I'm sure someone can explain to me, but that's what it looks like. Click that and move on to the next slide, and you come up with this menu here to embed the video. This is the tab you want, and several options here. Video size, if you want to play it back on the page, 853 by 480 is a reasonable size. You can have smaller and larger versions, and you can click to go to Microsoft Stream and then make it full screen should you choose. Tend not to have autoplay. Responsive is, I'm not sure it actually functions in Moodle, but the intention of responsive is that the video scales in size according to the real estate on screen that you have available to you. Similarly, show info, I presume that refers to this stuff here in terms of likes or whatever else. You can choose to start it at a particular point. So depending on what you choose here in terms of the options, that will add some HTML code here. So you can see it's adding their particular size, telling it what to do, and you click the copy button. Okay, that will then gather all that into your clipboard. Go to the next screen. Now we return once more to Moodle. So I've turned editing on in Moodle. There you can see there's the link from the video I dropped down from YouTube. That's sat there like that. And now slightly differently this time, because we got some code. We haven't got just a link, we got some code. So in order to drop code into a Moodle page, what you need to do is to reveal the HTML editor. which is hypertext markup language back in the day. It's just the instructions that draw the stuff you see on screen. And it's this bracket / bracket icon here next to the magnifying glass on the bottom row of icons. Open that, and what was once a comprehensible display, if only a URL, changes into the code that displays on page. Or I should say, you need to just probably put some returns in there. Just return and return, and that is represented here by this paragraph, line break, paragraph, open, close. Done that a couple of times. It just means there's some space between this and that, otherwise it's going to look an unholy mess. So I've done that. So I'm now going to drop this code. I'm going to paste it in. See, I've pasted it in here below there like that, and I can return to a semblance of normality by clicking the HTML tag once more, and the display will appear something like this. So let's assume that I've then clicked the save and display button, which I've cropped out of this screen grab here, but I've done that, and then we are presented with this. There's my original video. Don't get any options, so what it does, it's that size and it's centered on the page. For this one, I've determined the size. It appears there. I've got a big play button. There's no ambiguity about what's involved there. So two different ways in which I can take a PowerPoint, turn it into a video, either go through YouTube or go direct, and that takes care of the upload, through Microsoft Stream, changing the parameters to get the display size and the functionality that I want. That concludes this video. It's been quite lengthy, but hopefully quite comprehensive as well. Any questions, you know where I am. Thank you.